On a crisp autumn morning, when the wind carried the scent of apple cider, Clara stepped into the small town's bakery, wearing the red scarf her late husband had given her on their first anniversary. Her fingers brushed the worn leather of her purse, and her eyes scanned the crowded room. Everyone nodded at her with polite smiles, but she could feel their quiet pity lingering in the air. By 10 o'clock. The bakery was packed with customers, mothers ordering pastries for their kids, elders chatting over coffee, and teenagers laughing by the window. Then suddenly, a soft chime broke the buzz. Clara had dropped her wallet, and a man bent down to pick it up. At first, she thought it was just a kind stranger, but when he handed it back, she froze. His eyes were the same warm brown as her husband's. A tear rolled down her cheek, and she whispered his name, but the man just smiled and walked away. The bakery went quiet, people stared, unsure what to do. A plate of cookies slipped from the baker's hand and shattered on the floor. Clara's breath hitched, and she fell into a chair, murmuring about the day her husband died. "I should have said goodbye." She sobbed. "I didn't get to tell him I loved him one last time." Gasps filled the air. Mrs. Hale, who lived next door, stepped forward, her voice trembling. "He visited me too," she said. "He told me to tell you he's at peace." Clara looked up, her eyes wide and glossy, and laughed, a shaky, broken sound that wasn't quite her own. She stood up, wandering around the bakery. Mixing memories with quiet confessions, more people gathered, some crying, some whispering. By the time the town pastor arrived, Clara was sitting on the floor, talking to an empty spot. Begging her husband to stay a little longer. The pastor's face softened. He knew then that the stories people had told weren't just grief, they were signs. That evening, the townsfolk met at the church and decided to hold a memorial for Clara's husband, one they should have had years ago. They hung photos of him in the bakery, baked his favorite apple pie, and lit candles. That night, Clara slept peacefully for the first time in years. Weeks later, the town began to change. Small things at first, neighbors helping each other more, kids leaving drawings on doorsteps. The bakery always having extra pie for those who needed it. Then people started sharing their own stories of loss, turning sadness into something that brought them together. Some said they felt lighter, as if a weight had been lifted. Others had dreams of their loved ones smiling, telling them to move on. Fear faded, replaced by a quiet hope. Even those who hadn't known Clara's husband felt the shift, wondering if the love he left behind had healed the town. Soon, Clara opened a small garden in his honor, planting his favorite sunflowers. She told the townsfolk, "Love doesn't end when someone dies, it stays, if we let it." The pastor came often, helping her tend to the garden, and together they started a support group for people grieving. One afternoon, a young girl came to the garden, holding a drawing of her mom. Clara knelt down, took her hand, and said, "Let's plant a flower for her." The girl smiled, and in that moment, Clara knew she was healing too. They say love gotten from the heart never fades. It gives with both hands, holding you up when you fall. It fills your days with light, even on the darkest nights. It lifts you high, so you can help others climb too. Never hide your grief, let it out, so love can find its way in. When you see someone struggling, reach out, you might be the light they need. When you feel lost, remember the love that's been given to you. And when you miss someone, talk to them, they're listening. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this story, share it so others can find hope too. More stories are coming soon. Stay tuned, and remember, love may hurt for a while, but it always wins in the end. Bye for now.